Well, good morning. Not long, just woke up, got an appointment this morning, grabbed myself a little cheap 7-Eleven deal here, coffee, and just wanted to talk about why people might find it hard to get into cybersecurity. And I'm just gonna, again, everything I share is just my ideas, just my perceptions, and what I've learned since I've been working in the industry. Um, there are going to be obviously some things that are going to be different. So I always welcome people to share on the channel their thoughts. And these scenarios are not going to apply to every situation. So one of the main reasons why I believe it's super hard to get into cybersecurity is not that it's the hardest work. It's just that the skill level for certain roles is quite high, or the skill expectation. Even entry-level jobs still require some technical proficiency or some technical knowledge. That is why traditionally, people always went and did a degree in IT or cybersecurity, because you needed to build that foundation of knowledge, and then you needed to go off and apply that knowledge that you were learning in a particular workplace setting. I'm on a busy road here, so there might be a bit of noise. I do apologize in advance. But the other reason why I think it's hard for entry level people to get a cyber job, and something that I've seen recently, what I think it is that companies have to invest a bit of time into training. So think about this. If you're a business owner, okay, just put yourself in the shoes of someone who's running a business. You're spending most of your day away from your normal work to train somebody how to do a job. Doesn't matter what their knowledge level is, they still need to be trained to do the job the way the company requires them to do the job. This takes away experienced people away from what they need to do throughout the day. And if your company or where you're working, your SOC or wherever you work in cybersecurity is busy, that's time spent away that they could have been doing something else, okay? Now, I'm all for mentoring. I'm all for training, and most companies also support that. However, the issue is that new people, they come into a job, and for whatever reason, they leave. And this just most of the time is frustrating for everyone, because everyone invests some time in training the person, getting the person ready to be job ready, and then they leave. Look, it's going to happen in tech. It's going to happen in this industry. Loyalty is not really a thing anymore. It really does boil down to better working environment, better pay. For most people, they'll always choose that option first. But you can see now on the other side of the coin, on the flip side, why it might be hard to get a job. And my advice is, if you're in an interview, is I would acknowledge that, and I would, and be genuine, of course. Of course, you can't make commitments to a job that you haven't worked in. You don't know what the environment's going to be like. It could be toxic, it could be horrible. And of course, you're not going to commit. You'll have to make that decision when the time comes. But something worth noting if you're in an interview is saying, yeah, look, you're going to invest some time in me, but I'll be worth it. If I'm looked after, I'll stick around. I'll give you guys some good time. And of course, people can't make that commitment. You don't know what you're walking to, and it's not legal. Companies, unless they have you on some kind of contract, can't expect you to. Generally, if you want to quit, you can quit. But just keep this in the back of your mind when applying for jobs. If you're wondering why it's hard, companies are obviously going to go for the best option, because they know in some cases not everyone sticks around. So of course they're going to want to hire the person with the most experience, which means the least amount of training, which means least amount of overhead and money spent on a person that may potentially quit. And in the company I work in, we've seen that a few times. People have been trained, they go for whatever reasons. I'm not going to say, I don't know, to be honest, why, because I'm happy in my particular role. But everyone has their own challenges, and most people are going to monkey branch. They are going to jump off to a better opportunity. So guys, that's my thoughts on why I think it's hard to get a cybersecurity job. You're competing against people that are not only more experienced, but yeah, don't need that extra training that you might require when you hop inside your first role. You are going to be invested in quite heavily to learn the skills, and yeah, that costs money, that costs time. You know, the company I'm with provides certifications even to the analysts. That's more than what some companies would probably be willing to do. So that's a big investment. It's not cheap. You know, even things like Blue Lab certifications, you know, it's 700 Australian dollars to do that. So it's a big investment for them guys. So just go into your interview and apply for jobs with that in the back of your mind. If you get in front of a hiring manager and you feel that, yeah, you know, you need a bit of training, you need a little bit of investment to get your job ready, make them feel comfortable about making that investment. Remember, a job interview is about you selling yourself to the recruiter and to the hiring manager. You're selling yourself to them, giving them peace of mind, knowing that whatever money and time they spend on you is going to be worth it. And I'm not saying that means you have to commit to a bad job, but if you're an entry-level person, you may have to go through a bit of trial by fire. Now, trial by fire is if you've had some kind of working experience in your life, there are going to be situations, traineeships, things that you do where you are just going to go through a hard time. It's just all part of the process of learning and growing. And as society, we've kind of forgotten that. We've sort of think, oh, well, I just want to push my way into a nice, steady, good paying job. Doesn't work that way. Your first job more than likely might not be great. But just go in with that mindset, guys. That's the best advice I can give as someone with my background who got into cybersecurity. That's because I sold myself in the interview. I assured my managers that I'd be worth it, and I have been. And I can say that quite confidently. I know when to put in the extra time. I know when to back off too and rest. And I know I've created that balance, and I know what my priorities are, and I focus on them. So guys, thank you for watching. My coffee's going to go cold. All the best on your job search, guys. Just remember there are a lot of factors that come into a hiring manager's decision, and it's competitive. You're just going to have to accept that it's competitive, and you need to rise to the challenge and become a competitive person. So thank you so much, and we'll see you next video.